Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana and I'm a guide to life. I help people navigate through life-changing events and through the spiritual awakening. And I want to talk a little bit about, well, I have kind of a list of things that I want to talk about. Um, but I want to talk about that it's all about you and your expansion. It's never about somebody else. And I'll just kind of read what I wrote here and I'll expand on it. It's not about them and what they think of you or their opinion. It is always about you and your expansion. Getting caught up on what they think is also there for your expansion, right? Because as we go through life, a lot of times we'll get caught up in what do they think about me, into our own insecurities. And even that is part of your expansion. You see, what other people think is completely irrelevant to you. It is always in relevance to themselves, to their opinions, to their, and I know that I talk about this quite a bit because it's such an important point. And it's a point that is very easy to get caught up in because if we are thinking what other people think of us, then we are saying that their opinion is more important than our opinion. It is an insecurity, it is an unworthiness. At the core of it is my own unworthiness, and I don't know, others know better than me. And each and every person is going through the same, working through the same things within themselves. And and if they're not, then they're even further behind the game, right? If they're thinking that they know it all and that they have judgment, you see, others' judgment, especially of you, has absolutely no relevance to you. And others' opinions of you, you could use it as a mirror. You could say, okay, why are they thinking this? And you can do self work with that, but it is never something that is detrimental to you. It is never something that is an absolute of you, right? Because you are the only one in there that has been through your experiences, that knows what's going on inside, and nobody else has any kind of say over that or even knowledge of that. If they are judging, then they are judging it purely on their own life experiences, their own belief system, their own ways that they see things because of their upbringing, because of what they were taught to believe, because of their own conditioning. This has nothing to do with you. And when and in the beginning, a lot of times we do get caught up a lot in what do people think of me, and we shy down and we're afraid to even express ourselves or to show ourselves because what if I say the wrong thing and then I turn out to be a fool? But really, the only comparison that you can ever do is you to yourself, your past self. It is all for your expansion. That is all it is about. It is all about you going through yourself and expanding yourself and bringing yourself out into pure light, doing all that shadow work and opening yourself up and removing the fear or pushing through the fear, regardless of the fear. Um, and so there is no comparison outward of you, only recognizing yourself and others, right? So you you don't compare yourself to others. There is no logic in that. There is no no good comes of that because each and every one of us is so individual. What we can use others for is mirrors because others have attributes of us, right? We're all working in these same kind of archetypes that are flowing through us. And we can see in other people different parts of ourselves reflecting back to us. So we can do our own self work through others, through our interactions with others. Why did that happen? Why did we interact that way? Or seeing parts of ourselves in others and their behaviors. We can see parts of our wounded self in others, right? We can see people that are behaving in a way that is out of alignment with the all, with God, or with cause and effect, the natural way of things, the universe. It doesn't matter what you call it, right? Because we are all connected to this one big divine source. And when you can use others as kind of an anchor where you can see our own at places that we're out of alignment in others. It's so much easier to see it when it's outside of us, and we can mirror that back to us and fix ourselves by it. Or we can see healed aspects in another and say, whoa, that person is like me. They have those same attributes that I have, only they're healed and they're open and they're proud of them. And then you can use that to align yourself to your own attribute that you have. Spring just opened up here. All of a sudden, it went from like freezing last week to it's 7 something in the morning, and you can see I'm with short sleeves. It's nice and warm, and everything is flowering. It's just beautiful. Um, you are already always there. Just remove the excess. So your divine self is the essence of you. It is at your core. It is you. It is what you are. It is what you radiate outwards. Always. Even if you have all these layers packed on top, and even your insecurities is the way that you display those insecurities. So it is all you. Every single behavior that you have is you, even if it is a warped sense of you. It's still your warped sense of you, how you warped, right? In out of alignment with the universe. And there is no right or wrong. All it is a process. There is no, oh no, I'm out of alignment, I'm so bad. There is none of that, because the whole process is aligning ourselves. So you have to be out of alignment in order to align yourself. And that is the wisdom of it, because in aligning yourself, you gain the wisdom. If you were already here, then you would remain with no wisdom. There would be no knowledge there. It would be just there wouldn't be a life experience there. It would just be pure alignment. There would not be personality. There would not be any um, you have to kind of get this emotionally and energetically, kind of understand it, because this thought is a very abstract thought. But in order to align, you have to be out of alignment. And in order to gain life experience, you have to do some of that internal work. You have to experience in order to gain knowledge and wisdom and to set yourself right. So we come out of the womb a clean slate, and then we start learning before we have experience or judgment even, because where is our judgment? And you say, oh, don't judge, but there is judgment in every single aspect of life. Judgment is not a bad thing. It's how you use judgment, because you have to have judgment in order to even perceive or to make choices in life. You have to judge this or this. And so there's always judgment, and we are always relevant to our surroundings, right? We do our own personal work in relevance to the mirrors that we receive in others. And you don't have to judge others and say, oh, you know, they're bad and I'm good, because that in itself is off, because we are all one, right? Wanting for my good, wanting for another's good is wanting for my good. If I have to judge another to feel good about myself, that means that I am out of alignment in that place, right? And I am like sucking strength from them being out of alignment, which is not very what is the word, elegant. It's not a righteous way of moving through life, saying, oh, I'm so good because that person's out of alignment and that person's out of alignment. It's like gaining strength from others' weaknesses. It's not taking responsibility, and me rising into divineness, into my divine self, rather saying I'm okay being half-assed because they're worse than I am. And so it's like a cop out, right? And when you come into that divine place where you know how your divinity, you don't need to do that. There is no comfort in that. The only comfort is in being healed and being able to be in acceptance and understanding that everybody is on their path and everybody is doing the best that they can. Even even the ones that you can see are still kind of lost on their path, they're still doing the best that they can. You can have complete compassion and love for them. Love heals. Love is the language of the universe, and love you have in complete abundance, and it is free, and it is part of you, and it is who you are and what you are made of and what you were made from. You were made from love. So the act of making love is what makes babies. Um, so you are already and always there. Just remove the excess. So who you are at your core is always there and always will be. It's just removing. It's like, I think it was Michelangelo said when he was sculpting this big piece of marble. He said the sculpture's already there. I'm not sure if it was him, but yeah, from my memory, that's what's coming up. But the point of it is, he had this big chunk of marble, and he said, "The sculpture's already there. All I need to do is remove from around it, like remove the excess." And that's exactly what we're doing. And the more you surrender, the more you let go and let whatever wants to fall off, fall off. Quit being moved. Quit trying to fight against circumstance. Allow yourself to go through that emotion so that you can know yourself to the fullest, and then all of that excess will fall off, and then you will just remain a pillar of light. Who you are, what you were made of for, will be exposed and exposed to you as well. um, I can't even read my own writing. Something about shadow work. The thing about shadow work is that it is exactly the things that you are not expecting to see. So this is a good one. When you start doing your shadow work and you start revealing yourself to yourself and you start seeing aspects of yourself, it's never what you expect. You always think, I'm going to go through shadow work and it's going to be so defined. It's going to feel so good. It feels like crap. It feels like absolute horrific crap. When you start discovering things about yourself that you couldn't see, the emotions that come up is never what you expected. If it was what you expected, you would already be able to see it. And the things that you find out about yourself, the things that you see in yourself, you are just dumbfounded. It's just like, oh, you're horrified. And and it has to be that way, right? Because you were blind to those things, and all of a sudden, the places that you were out of alignment are exposed to you. And sometimes the looking at them is like looking at this dark, moldy, uh, um, ugly thing that created all sorts of behaviors that you weren't even aware of, and all of a sudden they appear to you, and you have light shined on them, and you're horrified with your own self, and you're sorry. You feel you feel sorry, and you feel embarrassed, and every single one of those dark shame, every single one of those dark emotions has to come up for you to heal. And you have to see those darknesses in order to take them out, and it has to be that shocking in order to do the work, because to do the work is like removing aspects of yourself, and it's difficult. It's 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 difficult, but at the same time, once it's revealed to you, it's inevitable. You cannot stop the shadow work once it starts, right? Once you start revealing yourself to yourself, you cannot stop it. And it starts it and it pretty much the work is done on its own once you're able to see it, once the light, as long as you don't allow yourself to slip back into that sleep mode, and you continue to do the work, and you continue to meditate, and you continue to keep that connection, then the work will be done on its own. And just allow yourself to go through those emotions. Just remove those, allow them to fall away, and it's going to hurt. And there's going to be a gap there. There's going to be a void in between the old and the new, because the old starts falling away, and then there's a gap there. What is the? But it's like a river that will go out, and something new in the light of that will come in. So it'll be like the light side of the dark will fill in. But in the beginning, it's kind of like you're blind. You don't really know where to go. This is leaving, and there's nothing there, but there is no gap. Even when you're walking through the air it is substance. So there is no gap in the world. So just as you release that, the new will start coming in. And when you release the darkness of certain aspects of certain parts of your certain archetypes, you remove the shadows from the archetype, then you stand into the light side of that archetype. If you do some study on archetype, you can see, you can get some comfort in that. So when you let go of something of yourself, it is a shadow of an archetype of a behavior, then the light part of that will become apparent for you, and then you can start moving into the light also there. And so when you do the shadow work, it's never what you expected, and expect the unexpected, and it will hurt. And once you expose yourself to yourself, it'll be shocking. And just know that that is part of the process, and don't beat yourself up over it. Try to be as comforting to yourself as you would to a little child, because had you known better, you would have done better always, especially if you're here with me. You're a soul, you're a truth seeker, and had you known better, you would have done better always. And you can have that kind of compassion for yourself. And when you have that kind of compassion for yourself, then the work is done so much more easy and in flow. And even if you do beat yourself up a little bit, know that that is also part of the process. Everything is divine. So just, let the process show you, the path knows the path. The path knows the way. Just let it reveal itself to you. And as much as you can, just surrender into it, and breathe and breathe and breathe. And the very last thing, really quick, imagination plus action is creation. That's what I have. I have imagination plus action equals creation. So I am sending you guys so much love. Thank you for being here with me. And if you would like to schedule a one-on-one session with me, my contact information is below. Thank you for being here.